This is the X-ray image that proves Paulo Aokuso is one of the toughest athletes in Australian sport. Aokuso produced one of the bravest performances in Australian boxing history on Saturday night, overcoming a fractured jaw to continue his unbeaten charge towards his hopes of a maiden world title shot. Aokuso, 6-0, 3 KO, secretly suffered a hairline fracture of his jaw in sparring 6 weeks ago in a disastrous build-up to his bout with Argentina's Gabriel Omar Diaz at the Townsville Entertainment and Convention Center. Then his trainer Lincoln Hudson suffered a heart attack, with the dual setbacks explaining why Aokuso failed to make weight for Diaz, costing him the IBO Intercontinental Light Heavyweight title. The Sydney-sider didn't spar for 5 weeks after having his jaw cracked following a session with Russian rival Imam Katayev. He also suffered damage to a tooth, but Aokuso refused to pull out and showed equal doses of guts and glamour to dispose of Diaz. Despite a nightmare preparation, Sweet Pea claimed a controversial majority points decision, 95-95, 98-92, 97-94, to post his 6th consecutive victory and underline his status as a bona fide world title prospect. It was a woeful judging result. Aokuso was clearly the superior fighter and should have won a unanimous verdict, but the 26-year-old was just relieved to emerge victorious given his drama-charged lead-in. Jai Opataya last year suffered a broken jaw in 2 places to win a world title bout over Maris Breedis, and Aokuso showed similar courage to bury the weigh-in debacle that cost him his belt, $7,500 and the chance to steal Diaz's WBA number 10 world ranking. "I had a lot of setbacks," Aokuso said after the win. "My trainer had a heart attack and I fractured my jaw, so I didn't spar for 6 or so weeks. It was really sore when it first happened. I was on painkillers for weeks. I tried to rest as much as I could, but I didn't want to make excuses by pulling out. I'm very grateful to get the win considering what I went through." Quote, Aokuso was expected to stop Diaz in the early rounds, but given the context of his fractured jaw saga and the loss of his trainer, he did well to outbox and outfox the Argentine. Diaz, 14-6, 6 KO, landed some good shots early which rattled Aokuso's jaw, but the stylish southpaw took control from the 5th round, landing at distance with left uppercuts and staying safe with slick movement. Aokuso landed 141 punches to Diaz's 98, underlining his precision and output as Australia's number 1 middleweight. Michael Zarafa declared Sweet Pea the real deal. "I'm a huge fan and he can go all the way," Zarafa said in fight commentary. "He's had 6 fights but it looks like he's gone 30. He had some hurdles for this fight but he will shock the world soon." Quote, Aokuso's stand-in trainer, his manager Fidel Tuchel, lifted the lid on his pugilist's injury. "People don't realize what Paulo has gone through," Tuchel said. "He suffered a hairline fracture of his jaw and we've kept it quiet the whole time. We had to keep it under wraps. For him to go into the fight with a fractured jaw, you don't hear of many things like that in sport. It is the stuff legends are made of. Thankfully, there was no metal plate or wiring needed, it was just natural healing. They said it would take 4 or 5 weeks to heal and that was 6 weeks out from the fight. For the past 5 weeks, Paulo has done no sparring. On top of that, his trainer Lincoln suffered a heart attack, so it's been the worst prep I have ever seen. Paulo didn't want to give up the opportunity. I asked if he could still fight and he said, *ing oath I can do it. He said, I will finish him off with no sparring. Jai Opataya had his jaw broken during his fight, but this happened to Paulo in the lead-up. He could have easily pulled out, but Paulo is a showman and his exact words were, the show must go on. Quote, prove the doubters wrong, Pangai's boxing career alive and kicking. Tevita Pangai Jr.'s professional boxing career is alive and kicking, just. The retired Bulldogs and New South Wales Origin star vowed to prove his haters wrong after surviving an almighty scare to edge out tough as nails Tongan Frank Amato in a 6-round war in North Queensland on Saturday night. There were NRL fireworks in the battle on the reef, with Storm giant Nelson Asofa Solomona destroying Dolphins rival Jared Wallace and Eels Hulk Jr. Paulo showing his class by hammering Ben Hannant at the Townsville Entertainment and Convention Centre. Meanwhile, Paulo's Eels teammate ReaganCampbell-Gillard was outstanding, showing a fusion of power, precision and skill to shock Cowboys' hometown hero Jason Taumalolo and snatch a split decision. But the most important narrative of the night was the performance of Pangai Jr. and whether he has a bona fide future in the sport. In his first boxing outing since dropping a bombshell by quitting the NRL, the Tongan torpedo scraped home in a nail-biter, scoring a majority decision, 57-57, 58-56, 59-56, to stave off a furious finish from Amato. There are levels in boxing and based on this display, Pangai Jr. has a long way to go to be a credible force in the fight game. At times, either man looked like they were going to be stopped. But Pangai Jr. prevailed, mixing toughness with a chin of granite. He showcased some nice double jabs and body shots to outlast Amato and keep his boxing dream alive. There is a view Pangai Jr. is mad for walking away from a $750,000 NRL contract, but the former Bronco says he will leave no stone unturned to succeed as a boxer. "I will prove the doubters wrong," he said. "I don't have an amateur background. I will be back in the gym. When others are partying, I will be training." He was a tough opponent. "I want a rematch. I showed I have the Tongan chin of granite. Nothing can put me down. Sometimes you can't get the knockout, but I got the win and I want that rematch." Fitness is no. 1. "I have skill and toughness but I need to work on my fitness." Quote, "The 131 kilograms Asofa Solomona was frightening, dropping Wallace after just 10 seconds with a savage right uppercut before Big Nasty stormed to a third-round stoppage. I got the monkey off my back now and I want to go again," Nas said. "I love boxing, I am very passionate about it." Quote, Eels duo Paulo and Campbell-Gillard were both impressive, the former flooring Hannant in the first round before RCG landed some powerful rights to overwhelm Taumalolo. Jason's head. "I hit him with everything," RCG said. "His eyes were going a bit, but every time I got him he kept coming back." Quote, "In the fifth NRL-themed fight, ex-Broncos skipper Justin Hodges was too good for former Dragon Matt Cooper to win the Origin Showdown by unanimous decision.